Before moving on to diffusion model architecture and assembling it from scratch, I actually want to show you that we can build a small language model based on the traditional ARM architecture fully from scratch, based on what we have just seen on the whiteboard. We have seen this whole pipeline of how we get the data. So if you look at the pipeline now, it's as follows. We get the tiny stories data, then we tokenize it, then we create these input and output pairs, then we pass the input sequences through this architecture, we get the output, we find the loss, um, we find the loss between the predictions and the targets, and then we update the parameters, then we get a new batch, and this loop essentially continues. That's pre-training of language models, or traditional language model pre-training, or ARM, auto regressive model pre-training. We can demonstrate this end-to-end workflow from scratch using Google Colab. I'll be sharing this Google Colab notebook with you, and you'll see that if you look at the different steps of this Google Colab notebook, you'll see that it starts with importing the tiny stories dataset first. The second step is to tokenize the data using the byte pair encoding, which is the subword based tokenizer. Then we create the input and the output pairs. Then we define the architecture of the small language model. Now, this architecture is exactly same as the whole architecture which we have seen over here. So, if you start taking a look at the forward pass, you'll see that we get the token embeddings, we get the position embeddings. We add the token embeddings with the position embeddings to get the input embedding. Then we pass the input embedding through a bunch of transformer blocks. In each transformer block, what happens is you'll see a class called block. In each transformer block, we have a layer normalization followed by attention, second layer normalization, uh, and a feed forward neural network. And here we have the shortcut connections. So these six steps which you see in the code map exactly to these six which we have seen: layer normalization, multi-head dropout, shortcut connection, layer normalization, feed forward neural network, dropout, and shortcut connection. So this is how the architecture is assembled, and then you define the loss function like the way we have looked at on the whiteboard. Right? We saw that once we pass the input sequence through this architecture, we actually get this logits matrix. We get this logits matrix, and then what we have to do is that based on the target values, we just find the probabilities and take the cross entropy loss. That's my loss function. So you might be wondering, where have we defined the cross entropy loss? It's over here. We get the loss function for a batch, and then here is where we define the training configuration. We define the learning rate, we define the batch size, which is the number of input sequences which we want in one batch, and then we define the block size, which is essentially the context length or the sequence length. That's the number of tokens in one input sequence, right? And here is where we define the training configuration for the small language model. We use an Adam W optimizer with learning rate, weight decay. So it has two additional parameters for the momentum and variance. And then finally, we run this pre-training loop. I'm currently running it for around 20,000 epochs or 20,000 iterations, I think. And then you'll see that the loss function goes on decreasing for 20,000 epochs. You can plot the training loss, the validation loss, and finally you can run inference on the small language model, which means that we finally want to see whether the model generates coherent stories or not, right? The whole idea when we started this exercise was, um, we wanted to train the model so that at the end the model is able to generate a coherent story. Now it's time to test the inference. Once the model has been trained, we pass a sequence, we pass a sentence, and ask the model to uh, predict the next tokens. So when you run this, you will see that you get inference outputs like this. Once upon a time there was a pumpkin. It was very special. The pumpkin wanted to pet with his family. So one day, isn't this amazing? This is just a model with around 15 million parameters, and in just 20,000 iterations, the model has entirely learned the grammar. The grammar is completely correct here. There are some mistakes here and there, but overall the grammar makes sense. The meaning also does not completely make sense, but for a 3 to 4 year old kid, it's pretty awesome to know about a special pumpkin, right? A little girl went to the woods, he was looking at the animals, and he saw a little boy with a big smile on its face, etc. So, some improvements can be made if you increase the number of iterations to 60,000 or 100,000. But on one single A100 GPU, we are using an A100 GPU over here. Training takes place for just 30 minutes. In 30 minutes of training on an A100 GPU, you are getting coherent stories whose grammar makes sense, whose meaning makes sense. Not exactly, but mostly it's pretty cool. So auto-regressive models definitely work and they give good results, right? Now we have to move towards diffusion models and see how these key characteristics of diffusion models have to be retained and how do we generate text from these. So let's get into that right now.